Solo in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies can seem daunting and difficult, so in this video I'm going to give you the ultimate solo guide with the best strategy so you can go into the game with absolutely nothing and end it with a triple pack-a-punch gold rarity weapon, all the perks, and a secret trick that can have you infinitely revived forever in solo without needing self-revives. Let me know if you're a solo player by dropping a thumbs up, but jumping into the loadout. As a solo player, you will want to be running decoy grenades as your tacticals, as these are essentially monkey bombs. They distract zombies and you can get infinite amounts of these from the ammo caches. For your equipment, make sure you bring in Semtexes or Molotovs. And for solo, the best field upgrade I recommend is Frenzied Guard, as it will repair your armor immediately in a tight spot, giving you more health. As for your insured weapon or contraband weapon, it honestly doesn't matter because we're going to be getting rid of it for better guns in the game. Now let's jump into the solo game where I have literally nothing on me, and one of the first tips I can give you as a solo player is you need to loot up. A lot of players in zombies literally don't search any of the buildings that they're running past, and you really should, because starting out as a solo player, especially with no equipment, you want to find a bigger backpack, you want to find an armor plate carrier, and in this game, straight off the rip, I found a cache which had a purple rarity weapon and a medium backpack. I even came across a random juggernaut can as well whilst looting. So whilst you're running around getting towards the contracts, it's definitely worth looting up areas, because even if you find a green rarity weapon, that is already stronger in damage than your loadout weapon. Now in any game of zombies, even as a solo player, your main priority is you want to be building up points by doing contracts. Now as a solo player, there are some contracts which are going to be far easier to do on solo than others. So let's break down the best contracts for solo. The first one being Raid Weapon Stash. This contract has a chance to drop you a weapon with a higher rarity than your loadout one, which you are going to want to need, and it's simply a contract where you just have to wait for the time to go to 100%. You don't even need to be in the same room as the actual stash safe. Just as long as you're near it, just by standing around and killing the odd zombie or two, you'll be able to get that completed and be guaranteed to be given some sort of weapon that will be higher rarity than your loadout, equaling a higher damage output. The next is Deliver Cargo, which is a very simple contract where you're just driving a vehicle from one part of the map to the other. This is also really good for exploring other parts of the map, and especially if there are no vehicles around, this is a guaranteed vehicle. Eliminate Bounty contracts are also really good to do solo as well, as at this point in the game, you should at least have a green rarity weapon, meaning you can do slightly more damage to these elite bosses to get these contracts done quicker. And finally, the Outlast contract, which is also really simple and very similar to the Raid Weapon Stash, where you'll just be killing some zombies whilst waiting for the timer to get to 100% and you'll be done. Now you'll want to be completing contracts in the low threat zone until you have around about 15,000 points. During this, the reward rift should give you some decent rewards such as some free perks and hopefully some ether wrenches as well to upgrade your weapon's rarity. But if you get a pack-a-punch crystal, don't use it straight away, stow it, because we're going to be using it later. Now whilst completing these contracts, you want to try and get explosive kills on the zombies. This can be using fire with the Molotovs, using Semtexes, and especially the Hellhounds. When they die, they burst out fire that if zombies run on them, they die. But doing this will make the zombies drop chunks of flesh, and we're going to need to get 4 of these in total. This is incredibly important later on for the high threat zone as a solo player, and you'll see why. On top of doing contracts, you also want to make the most of the free perk Easter eggs that are scattered all around the map. As a solo player, there are 5 perks that you absolutely need in order to survive for the high threat. That being Juggernog for the extra health, Quick Revive so your health regenerates faster, Stamina Up so you can actually run fast and outrun the zombies in the high threat zone, Speed Cola so you can reload your weapon faster in tight situations, and Deadshot Daiquiri to increase your critical damage. Luckily for you, you don't even have to buy these perks because there are free Easter eggs to get these perks all over the map. And you can do these in every single solo game, but only one player in the game can do them, so you need to be quick. You should prioritize these Easter eggs in the spawn location you get. So let me show you how to get Juggernog for free. And what you need to do is you need to go to Alabound Condos, which is situated just north of the Seaport District, and you'll see a campfire here with a bunny. This is why I told you to equip the Molotov before you went into the game, because to get Jug, you simply throw the Molotov at the campfire and a reward rift will spawn next to you, giving you free Jug. For Quick Revive, you need to get an ATV and make your way to the Hamzar Bazaar, to specifically this part of the road just south of Hidika Farms. Now here there's going to be 2 different road signs that are each going to have a blue bunny on, and with the ATV you want to make your way underneath it on the ATV, and you're going to hear a evil laugh, and when you do, you need to put your foot to the floor and drive as quickly as possible to the other road sign, and if you do it in a fast enough speed, you'll be rewarded with a free Quick Revive. Now to get a free Stamina Up, you need to make your way to Zaravan City and to specifically this building called the Quadri Shop shopping center. Make your way to the staircase. You'll see the blue bunny there. And what you need to do is essentially run up all 15 flights of stairs non-stop with your fists out, so you can't have two weapons. And when you get to the top of the roof, the reward rift should spawn, giving you stamina. The next perk you need is Speed Cola. So if you want to get it for free, make your way over to the top left of the map, just east of Levin Resort, to this eagle statue, and you just want to simply drive over it like a ramp with the icon that you can see. And when you land on the road, you'll be given the reward rift with free Speed Cola. And for free Deadshot, make your way just below all of military base to this graveyard with this church. And what you want to do is you want to go onto this specific gravestone here, look up towards the window, and put your cursor exactly where I do and throw a Semtex grenade into this window. If done correctly, the reward rift should spawn, giving you free Deadshot. Now, as a solo player, it's also so important that you have a 3-plate armor vest, as just having Juggernog in this game is not really quite the same. By default, you spawn in with just a 1-plate armor vest. So let me show you how you can get a guaranteed 3-plate vest in every game. Now, to do this, you first need to complete a mercenary camp. These are situated all around the map that will contain mercenary AI, and once you've killed all of them, you'll be able to loot a mercenary cache that will contain a 2-plate vest, but also contain a keycard to a stronghold. Now, you can also just straight up buy a stronghold keycard from a buy station for 2,000 points, but you don't need to waste your points. And now you simply need to go to a mercenary stronghold. When you use that keycard to open the door, you'll be clearing a bunch of AI enemies that will be waiting for you inside. And once you've cleared it, somewhere in the stronghold, there is going to be a safe. You want to go ahead and interact with the safe to start drilling it, and more mercenaries will spawn. And once you've taken that all out and the safe is done, inside will be a guaranteed 3-plate armor vest. So once you've farmed enough contracts that have around 15,000 points and potentially have acquired some free perks, it's now time to go use one of the best strategies as a solo player to get the strongest weapon that you can, and that is to buy a wall buy inside of the high threat zone. Now, that may sound daunting at first, seeing as you've just been in the low threat for the entire time, but as long as you have stamina and a vehicle, you want to mark a wall buy and go into the high threat and try and find a wall buy that is gold. Doing this will give you a weapon that is at the highest rarity, not requiring any wrenches to upgrade, giving you the highest damage output straight away. It's at this point as well that you're going to want to throw away the other weapon you have, so you just have this new tier 5 weapon and your fists. Once you have this weapon, immediately leave the high threat zone. And if you have any crystals from your rewards that can pack-a-punch it once or twice, this is a great time to use them. You're now going to want to go into the medium threat zone and start farming up, completing the same list of contracts in the low threat in the medium threat, because these are going to give you better rewards. And now that you have a gold weapon that should be at least 1 pack-a-punch tier, you should be able to take out all the zombies in the medium threat and these bounties with ease. The usual struggle progression as a solo player is that you won't have too much trouble pack-a-punching your weapon once or twice, but actually getting the rarity increased is honestly a game of RNG. And rather than risking it, getting that gold weapon from the high threat wall buy is just a guarantee that you can have the strongest output gun. Now, as a solo player, you're going to want to be grinding out these contracts in the medium threat until you have 15,000 points. This is super important because this is the cost of getting your gun triple pack-a-punched, and is absolutely necessary to take down zombies in the high threat zone. So once you have that amount of money, make your way into the high threat zone, making sure you're always running with your fists out with stamina, as you'll always be able to outrun any of the zombies here. And also be sure to use your decoy grenades when using the pack-a-punch machine or when using the Wonder Fist machine to buy any extra perks. But from here, you now have a fully gold rare weapon with 3 pack-a-punch levels on it, so you have the strongest weapon you possibly can. Now, before you start farming any contracts in the high threat zone, there's one more important thing you need to do, and that is you need to go over to the bottom left side of the high threat zone right here to go to this particular doghouse. Now, remember at the start of the guide, I mentioned you want to be picking up chunks of meat and making sure you have 4 pieces. Well, this is where the ultimate solo trick comes in. And by giving this doghouse 4 pieces of flesh, you will get a tier 3 friendly dog that will always be able to revive you no matter how many times you go down, regardless if you have self-revive or not. The beauty of this friendly dog Easter egg is that this dog will always be able to kill zombies in the high threat zone for you. It will always follow you around, and especially when you go down, even without a self-revive, the dog will be able to revive you if you wait long enough. From here, this gives you the ultimate protection to be able to go in the high threat zone, run around with your fists out, and complete a bunch of different contracts. And when it comes to completing bounty contracts on solo, this is going to be quite a challenge because even with a very powerful gun which you have, these elites are still going to have a ton of health. So if you have any additional cash, it's always important to make your way to the buy station to buy important streaks such as a sentry gun or a juggernaut kill streak if you can afford it, as it will guarantee you to be able to take out some of the mega abominations which you might be given for those bounty contracts. You'll also find in the high threat zone that this is where the frenzied guard field upgrade will become extremely useful, because there will be moments where you might get trapped in a corner, there might be a ton of zombies and you've lost a load of armor and you simply can't afford to lose any more, or you might not even have any to repair. You pop that and you'll instantly be back to 250 health with full armor. And remember the decoy grenades. They are so incredibly useful when doing anything, even if it's just interacting with a contract or trying to loot anywhere. Just throwing these down is going to give you that little bit of breathing room, and you can always get more of them by going to the ammo refills in the high threat. Now, the main reason why you want to be in the high threat farming these contracts is you want to get the rewards that the risk will give you, which have the highest chance of giving you something good. And literally in this solo run, I managed to find the ray gun schematic blueprint recipe, just like that. You also have a great chance of getting certain recipes for perks that you'll be able to craft in the schematics menu. And as you are completing more and more contracts, you'll have more cash. So if there are more perks that you don't have yet that you want to have, such as elemental pop, which is also really good for solo, then you can go ahead and go to the Wonder Fizz machine and get all of your perks. I can't stress highly enough how important it is to be running around this area only with your fists out with salmon up enabled, and to use that friendly dog Easter egg, because it is honestly going to save your life and revive you more efficiently than any teammate would be able to in the high threat. A bonus tip as well is if during your games you have found any of the circuit board for the turrets, if they have ammo mods or not, be sure to save them and to use them inside of the high threat to help you take out some of the bounty contracts. They are incredibly powerful for taking out massive hordes of zombies and bosses without you really having to do anything. But when the timer counts down to 0, the ether storm is going to start engulfing the map, and you should probably think about going to an exfil. And once you've exfilled, all of the goodies you got in that solo run, you'll be able to take out and use in a following game. But if you use these strategies in every solo run you will have absolutely no problem at all making the high threat zone look like an absolute piece of cake. If you learned anything new in this video, please let me know by dropping a thumbs up, and let me know how useful this guide was in the comment section below. And there are so many more guides and tips and tricks coming on this channel, especially if you're solo players. So to not miss out on them, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. But if you need even more Modern Warfare 3 Zombies guides, then I have another one on your screen right now.